And what a challenge it will be tonight for Furman to try to grab a win here at UNC Greensboro. We are off and running. Orlando's Poole, Todd, Austin, and R.B. Clybourne, your officials this evening. Get a look at the UNC Greensboro starting five: Tracy Buckingham, Kobe Langley, and Boss Lady, along with Mohammed Abdul Salam, and a traveling violation called right off the bat.
Like the attack early, getting Buckingham going downhill to the rim, unable to finish, but offensive rebound, unable to be secure. But you see UNC Greensboro with the emphasis early on attacking the paint and putting pressure on that Furman defense to resist them at the rim.
Hunter, Foster, Bothwell, Huey, and Slauson. Some big guns offensively for the Paladins of Furman. Straight on three, that's good. So right off the bat, that's one of the specialties of this Furman team, being able to knock down the three-pointer, and it's Alex Hunter who gets him going.
And Alex Hunter, a big-time scorer, one of the three Furman starters who average over 15 points per game, and this Furman team can score. They average 79.3 points per game. It's going to be a challenge for Mike Jones and his defense for the Spartans to contend with this group, especially after not having played basketball in close to 3 weeks.
That ball tipped out of bounds. Conversely, you're looking at a UNC Greensboro team that is giving up 64 points per game. They're also scoring 64 points per game. So the offensive consistency there has not been there all the way here so far, despite a good start to the season for UNC Greensboro.
But for Mike Jones, it's about defense, it's about rebounding. He'll hang his hat on those two things. They'll worry about the offense later, as Furman's gotten off to a great start early in this one, as Bothwell is able to knock down the two-pointer.
5 in a row to start for Furman. That ball knocked out of bounds and away from Buckingham. It'll stay with the Spartans. Jumper launched. A little bit off out of the hands of Kobe Langley, and the rebound taken by the Paladins. The big three offensively for this Furman squad: Hunter, Slauson, Bothwell, all with the ability to pour in 30 points plus during the course of a game, Corey.
Well, not just the ability, they've actually done it when you consider you got 3 guys on your roster that in the first 15 games of the season have a 30-point game. We talked with Coach Ritchie earlier about, have you seen all 3 of those guys get going all at once? And he says we've yet to see it, but these guys definitely don't step on each other's foot. They don't get in each other's way on the court.
Dante Tracy missing the 3, slapped outside. And it will stay with the Spartans. Missing on their first 3 field goals in this game. Langley trying to find some room. Shot clock to 10. And that ball deflected again out of bounds. Quick hand so far from the Paladins.
The rough start offensively, not unexpected for UNCG, as we get an opportunity to look at Mike Jones in his first season at UNCG after a successful stint at Bradford University. Buckingham unable to knock down the baseline jumper. And this is where you'll see Furman. They don't want to play slow. They want to push the tempo. UNCG would much prefer to play a slower tempo. Furman wants to get up and down, especially if they can find the 3 in transition.
Near errant passer by Slauson, but Furman recovers. Slauson gets it back, drives, and lays it in.
But that's what the danger of the three-pointer. Jalen Slauson has the ability to shoot the 3, and just like that, the pump fake allows the Red Sea to part as he goes right down the middle for the easy layup.
7 in a row for Bob Ritchie's crew to start out this game. 3.5 minutes in from Greensboro, North Carolina. Down low, and the two-handed jam applied as it's Boz Letty who's able to get that one down. And certainly when we talked to Coach Jones earlier, Corey, he was highlighted as one of the pleasant surprises of the season.
He really was, and you've got great penetration from Kobe Langley getting downhill and getting an easy bucket for Letty to get UNCG on the scoreboard. Hopefully that opens up things for the Spartans as they've struggled for the first 4 minutes offensively. But I'm sure that builds some confidence to finally see the ball go through the basket.
Buckingham trying to get going. Tracy. He's cut off. Tries to spin off. Lays it in, and that ends the offensive drought for the Spartans.
And we talked with Bob Ritchie earlier today. The one thing that he was concerned about is can they defend the rim and can they keep UNCG out of the paint? And you see the focus for the Spartans is to get in the painted area. That's where they feel they have the advantage, where Furman does the majority of their work from beyond the arc.
So back-to-back field goals here for UNC Greensboro. Step back, Slauson with the shot clock running down. Contested, tough shot. Rebound for the Spartans and Buckingham. Buckingham, the leader in that category. Boards for the Spartans. A late miss, and the rebound, the putback by Mohamed Abdul Salam.
And second chance opportunities have been the recipe for success for UNCG thus far in this game. And once again, 2 more points in the paint as all 6 of their points have come in the painted area.
Missed 3 by Slauson, another crack at it. Bothwell for 3.
Derek, you can tell early in this game, we've got a contrast in styles as to what we will see all evening. And now that we've gone well past what would have been our first media timeout, you're seeing a couple guys, especially for the Spartans, sucking wind a little bit. Remember, it's been a long time since these guys have gotten into basketball action in a game. Only 3 days of 5-on-5 practice to this point, so getting back in shape can be tough. However, a big bucket for Abdul Salam, cutting down the basket. 2 more points in the paint for the Spartans. An opportunity for 3 as we head to a timeout. The beautiful find, the beautiful finish in a 2-point game.
The Greensboro Coliseum, the site for Furman and UNC Greensboro. It's an early 10-8 lead for Furman. Derek Jones and Corey Alexander with you this evening. And Corey, some challenges for Furman going back to the VMI game. They did not have Bob Ritchie. He was dealing with, obviously, the birth of his new son. And how about him having to deal with the challenge of missing a game and now getting back into the flow of things?
Well, missing a game definitely was a challenge, but we have to congratulate Coach Ritchie on the birth of his new son, Jax Burner. And when you think about that, of course, you know, and I know missing the game had to hurt, but of course you have to be so excited for him and his wife for welcoming a new son into the game. And of course, when you think about missing the opportunity and a loss, that was something that was on Coach Ritchie's mind. He made sure that he would be at this game today. So a 3-hour trip for him from the hospital, leaving at 2 p.m., 3-hour ride in the car to get here by 5 and make sure he was ready to go, trying to get his team a road win in a tough Southern Conference.
First game he's missed in 5 years, and obviously congratulations to Bob Ritchie, his wife, and their entire family for the latest edition. And what an addition he has been to this program. 98 wins with Furman in his 5th season as head coach.
And talking to Coach Ritchie, and of course he was a little more casual at the hospital earlier today when we were on Zoom with him. I asked him, I said, hey, are you going to be, you know, casual on the sidelines? He says, Corey, I've been going with the blazer, and I feel comfortable in the blazer. Well, I can tell you right now, with the success he's had as a coach at Furman, allow this man to be comfortable in whatever it is that he wants to wear on the sidelines, because there's been great success for him, averaging close to 20 wins a year.
It's been a decent start offensively for his club. Step back 3, that is a little bit off out of the hands of Bothwell, and the rebound taken by the Spartans.
And once again, getting out in transition, UNCG attacking the painted area. All 5 field goals for the Spartans have been in the paint. And another beautiful find from Kobe Langley, getting out in transition.
An 11-3 run here for the Spartans after a slow start, down 7-0 early. Hunter for three. That's good.
And I got to go back and correct that. They made the switch at the timeout. That's my guy, Keyshawn Langley, who dropped the dime on that one. I should have known. Kobe's left-handed, Key is right-handed. So, but the pass, I'm not sure which hand it was from. But these two guys, of course, a great factor for Mike Jones taking over this job at UNCG, having both those guys to rely on.
Euro step in the lane and a player control foul on the way, as Dante Tracy able to step in and take the charge.
Great recognition by Tracy, getting back, still moving a little bit, but did get in legal guarding position, absorbing all that contact in the chest and getting possession back for UNCG.
So the foul picked up by Bothwell. That's his first. By the way, you just saw Jalen White report into the game. The side of the Spartans, and a loose ball. Tracy has that ball knocked away from him. It'll stay with the Spartans with still plenty of time to shoot. 2-point lead here for Furman in meeting number 41 all time between these two programs. The drop off to Keyshawn Langley, the aforementioned Keyshawn Langley, playing his fourth game of the season. I'll tell you about his story as this game progresses. Langley here with 5 to shoot. Into the corner for Tracy. He'll launch. Too strong off the back of the iron, and the rebound taken by Foster. Crossover to the rack, the hang in the air, and the score. The bucket by Bothwell. It's an and one as Furman looks to expand its lead.
But you can see what makes Furman so dangerous. Bothwell getting out in transition. You know he can shoot the basketball. You've got to pick him up well beyond the three, but has the ability to finish as well.
Over UNC Greensboro, Derek Jones and Corey Alexander with you this evening. And Keyshawn Langley, a big part of this program, but he has only played in 4 games, counting this one tonight. He missed the first 9 games of the season. He was suspended from UNC Greensboro for the fall 2021 semester. He said, and I quote, "I accept full responsibility for my actions and will use this challenge to learn and grow." And he is now back again academically eligible with this program. And Coach Jones, Corey, said that he is definitely a key part of this program moving forward.
Well, he really is that, and you look at his numbers from a team that went to the NCAA tournament a year ago. He was a double-figure scorer and 3.4 assists as well, but in Keyshawn's absence, he actually allowed for his brother Kobe, who didn't have a huge role on the team last year, to step in and gain the trust of Mike Jones, and now you see Kobe as the starting point guard for this team, and both these guys on the court together right now, and this is how I'm used to seeing the twins. Of course, I watched them growing up playing for CP3 All-Stars, led by my guy John Adams, and of course CJ and Chris Paul. But these two guys are some of the better competitors you will find in college basketball. Tough, gritty guards, and that's exactly what fits into what Mike Jones wants to see. Both these guys also have the ability to score.
Great basketball bloodline in that Langley family. Cameron over at North Carolina A&T as well. 4 to shoot in the lane. Turning around, almost getting that one to go as Miles Jones already has a bucket in this game. The lead stays at 5 for Furman. Hunter. Again, key player to watch here. He has over 200 three-pointers in his career at Furman. To the low blocks, loose ball and a steal. Back down the floor, the layup is good from Buckingham.
And that's my guy, DeMonte Buckingham, getting out, getting the layup, and I will be texting him after the game with boo because he did not dunk that on the break. So we're going to have a conversation about that. But his mom, Monica Buckingham, who I talked to earlier today, tuned in watching. She was expecting a dunk too, but you see the beautiful find from Kobe Langley kicking it ahead to Buck with, we'll call it a nice layup, but Of course, that's something that he's supposed to be dunking. 6th year, though, in college right now, the leader of this UNCG group in the 6th year, maybe he don't have that athleticism anymore, Derek. I'm not sure. I gotta check with my guy.
Well, Coach Jones, we were talking to him earlier. He said that he jokes around with DeMonte about how, like, hey, you're like the oldest guy in college basketball, man. He has been around a little bit.
But I tell you what, he's far from the oldest guy in college basketball. This year with the COVID eligibility that we've seen, he's far from the oldest. We've got some seasoned players in college basketball this year.
Interestingly enough, the oldest player in college basketball right now is in the SoCon. Josh Iame of Chattanooga is the oldest player at, I believe, 26 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey.
So
what else would you do?
So DeMonte Buckingham, he does have proof to deny that claim.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Go get a job? I mean, again, if you have opportunity to play college basketball or work for a living, I'm taking college basketball. Keep getting degrees.
Slauson with the delivery. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The layup attempt missing.
Hey, Bob, what about playing on tight?
And out come the Spartans. The drive by Keyshawn Langley. The kick, the 3. That's no good. The rebound grab, pump fake, put back. That's good.
Offensive rebounding, once again, that has been the recipe for success for UNCG. And again, when you haven't played basketball and as long as the Spartans have had to take off, you consider the fact that you're going to be rusty shooting the basketball, but the energy and effort that they're putting in to chasing down offensive rebounds, coming up with second chance points, and getting those points in the paint has given them an opportunity to hang around until they can find a rhythm offensively.
So the Slauson hook shot makes it a 3-point game. Langley 3, that misses off the back of the iron. The rebound taken by Marcus Foster of Furman.
And this is where you really have to watch for Furman. Mike Jones calls Slauson a matchup nightmare, and you see playing with his back to the basket, dropping a dime cross court for the 3. And just like that, Furman's able to stretch it to a 6-point lead.
He's a quote-unquote big, but obviously his abilities extend far beyond the low post. Down low, pump fake, the layup is in out of the hands of Jalen White.
Yeah, Mike Jones calls Slauson a guard playing the 5 position. And you see the passing and the ball handling ability as he goes once again off the dribble, trying to make a play. And he loves playing for Coach Ritchie because Coach Ritchie gives him that freedom to make plays, even at the 5 position, giving him the opportunity to play in the high post, to handle the basketball and play off the bounce. And right now, Slauson, who played in the shadows of Nick Gurley, who moved on, transferred to Alabama, has really shown his skill here in his senior year.
4-point lead for Furman. Bothwell tries to go glass. He gets hacked, and he'll go to the line. So Keyshawn Langley will pick up the foul. And again, the attack there, aggressiveness early on by Furman. So Bothwell at the line. Second team Southern Conference honors season ago. A little bit too long on the first. We have an ACC college basketball matinee for you with Caleb Love, Armando Bacot, and North Carolina hosting Jaden Gardner, and Virginia at the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill. Our Saturday showcase coverage starts at 1 Eastern on ESPN and the app. One app, one tab. How about those Cavaliers, Corey?
Well, you know, first off, how you just mentioned one Cavalier when you mentioned 2 you mentioned 2 Tar Heels. I mean, you know, that's not equality. As we see my guy Kobe Langley attacking the basket, but, you know, you could at least throw Kihei Clark in the promo.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You got to even out the love, especially for ACC teams. 3-point lead here for Furman. Bothwell. His layup is good. Very active to the rim.
Yeah, Bothwell has been aggressive to start this game. attacking the basket. We've seen him shoot the three. And again, he is one of that big three, already 11 points for Bothwell in this 4 for 6 from the field. But he's part of that big three that Coach Ritchie relies on. At least 2 of those 3 guys, every time they're coming out, putting up big scoring games.
And this 3 by J.C. Farrington, leading to a new possession. Bothwell cuts into the defense. Stuck. Shot clock down to 7. As J.P. Puggis having some struggles there holding on to the basketball. We'll have more in a moment. It's a 5-point lead for Furman with just over 7 minutes left.
Dad, wearing the crown in the Jones household, and Mike has said very, very proud to be Jimmy Jones' son, and had a great example for a father growing up, not just from a basketball standpoint, but also teaching him how to be a man. Very, very happy to be able to call Jimmy Jones dad.
Mike Jones here has seen his team miss its first 4 shots, but they've shot 9 of 14 since that slow start. Shot clock to 5. Buckingham 3 is an air ball. The catch, the follow, and a foul as Kobe Langley snuck in there and got the loose ball.
But once again, you're talking about offensive rebounding, another opportunity for second chance points, where that has been the advantage early for UNCG, where they've struggled from beyond the arc, still yet to make a 3-point shot, but getting the job done in the paint. A 18-8 advantage so far, points in the paint.
We get a look at Keyford Langley, the father of Keyshawn and Kobe, who is at the line. Certainly a fountain of basketball information there, Corey.
Yeah, talk about dads that can play. Of course, Kiefer Langley, a stud at UNCG, their all-time leading 3-point field goal percentage leader. But, I talked with him earlier today, and I had a problem with the fact that he only made 100 threes. I told him, I said, Key, you got to take more shots. He said he was a distributor as well. So his 2 sons the 2 sons that play for UNCG. He actually has 4 sons that played college basketball. Oldest Kiefer Jr. played at Greensboro College. You mentioned Cameron at North Carolina A&T, and of course the twins here. But all of his boys got a little bit of his game. Kiefer says he had all the game, and each and every one of those guys just got a little bit.
Hey, he's got to protect the game. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. He's still very involved in basketball. I mentioned my CP3 family earlier. Kiefer also a coach for CP3 and still coaches, even though all of his sons have moved on playing college basketball. He's still involved in the organization.
Kobe Langley, by the way, picked up that foul. As Slauson turning around, and he can't get that one to drop. The big 3 of Furman have been pacing things so far. Foster has 13, Slauson with 12, Bothwell with 11. The layup attempt by Tracy gets blocked, loose ball, grabbed by Foster. Bothwell falls down and is able to maintain possession momentarily, but a jump ball called, and the possession arrow goes in favor of the Spartans.
And give Letty a lot of credit for not only making it difficult to get the outlet pass, but sprinting back and diving on the loose ball, regaining possession for UNCG. And when you mention Mike Jones, their coaching style, that's what he loves to see. Tough, gritty players, guys who are willing to go out and do all the dirty work, do all the stuff that doesn't necessarily look good or show up in the stat sheet, but helps teams win basketball games.
He wants to see competitiveness out there on the floor. So far, he's seen that here in the first half. Banging away down low. Abdul Salam gets the drop.
And you can tell there's a significant size advantage for the Spartans on the interior. And right now, they are flexing their muscle. 20-8 advantage points in the paint in this game. And on their home floor for UNCG right now, it's about sticking around, getting this first half under your belt, and then going into the halftime locker room and adjusting and getting the rust out of the way, I'm pretty sure they'll be better offensively, shooting the basketball, etc. in the second half. You're Furman. This is the opportunity to jump on the Spartans right now.
Barrington peeling off. Just over 4 minutes left to go first half. Tracy trying to find some room. Good defense. His floater short, gets his own miss. Still alive, and we will get a timeout called, I believe, here by UNC Greensboro. Able to maintain possession of the ball. 1 point lead for Furman. More in a moment. Stay tuned. 24-23, Derek Jones and Corey Alexander with you. Corey, as you take a look at that preseason poll, Furman with high hopes this season. Chattanooga is standing on top of the preseason poll.
Well, when you consider what Furman returns and you think about, what wins in the SoCon, three-point shooting, of course, is going to be valuable, but experience. And when you've got the big three that you have coming back to Furman, that's why there's such high expectations for Coach Ritchie and his group. And also part of the reason why Coach Ritchie made the 3-hour drive to be sure to be here with his team tonight, knowing how important each and every one of the SoCon regular season games are.
The Spartans, as you saw there, who represented the SoCon in the NCAA tournament. Wow, look at that three by Tracy as the shot clock winding down. He had to get rid of it. And that comes up short. It'll go back over to Furman. They're picked to finish sixth. They're the team that represented the SoCon in the NCAA tournament last year before bowing out to Florida State.
Yeah, but 6 defections from UNCG. Of course, Wes Miller taking over at Cincinnati. 4 players transferring to Cincinnati. You had 2 other transfers. So when you consider that 6 players left, and then you lose Isaiah Miller, the best player on that team a year ago, who has found his way in the G League and NBA, you're talking about a complete rebuilding job for the most part for Mike Jones, but they've gotten off to a very good start at 8-4 thus far.
Hunter with the shot clock expiring can't connect, but the offensive rebound taken by the Paladins. Joe Anderson, by the way, in the mix. Hunter will launch and hit. Alex Hunter from deep, such a dangerous shooter for this club. He's made 56 of them heading into tonight.
And Bothwell and Hunter now combined 23 of the 27 points from Furman, the only other 4 from Slauson. So the big three have scored every point thus far for Furman.
Abdul Salam is 4-4 from the field working. Throws it up in between 2 defenders. Loose ball. It'll stay with UNC Greensboro. Furman got out to the fast start, and it looked like this game was going to be a little bit of a track meet, but the pace has been slowed down a little bit here by the Spartans.
Well, and the Spartans have done that by attacking the paint. Again, it's difficult to run when you're taking the basketball out of the basket. And once the Spartans started scoring in the paint, that slowed down the offense for Furman as we get an opportunity to see great defense by Jalen Swanson. We mentioned earlier, he's playing the big, but he's not really a big, not a guy that's going to battle. He's more so of a skill stretch 4 or 5. As you see the first 3 of the game go down for Kobe Langley, and the stretch 3 at the end of the shot clock. But regardless as to when you get it, Mike Jones will take it.
Big shot there by Kobe Langley to get this within 1 point. The first 3-pointer of the game for the Spartans. Slauson miss, leads to an Abdul Salam rebound.
An opportunity here for UNCG with all its offensive struggles in the first half to be able to take a lead on this possession. And right now you want to make sure you're getting a quality look.
Tracy to the lane. Into the defense, gets it to go. Dante Tracy, impressive move for the Florida native. First lead of the night for UNC Greensboro. Up by 1, 28-27 before the end of the half.
Amazon Halo View is the new way to build healthier habits right from your wrist. Easily check your sleep score, step count, and heart rate, Plus, start live workouts with a tap. Halo View. Another way health is better with Halo.
Hard work? Sure. Guesswork? No thank you. Because when you're on a mission, you want to get it right the first time. That's where the Home Depot comes in, with an app to rent and reserve the right tools with just a tap. With convenient image search options, and with the ability
10 earlier on in the first half. Derek Jones and Corey Alexander with you. Corey, how about this push by the Spartans? What's been the difference?
Well, the difference has been attacking the paint, and we've seen Tracy settle for threes at times, but also put his head down, trying to get to the rim, and that has been the difference in this game, is the points in the paint battle. 22-8 advantage right now for UNCG, and when you look at the fact that only 3 players have scored for Furman, you have to give UNCG credit for taking everyone else out. The backcourt with a combined 23 of the 27 Furman points.
90 seconds left, first half.
And Mike Jones electing to go zone here, coming out of timeout, confusing Furman just a little bit. You see guys looking to the sideline, wondering what to run.
The three's up, that's good. Marcus Foster.
That's the answer for any zone. The ability to knock down the three as Foster becomes the 4th scorer for Furman and gives them the 2-point lead, taking the lead back.
30-28 advantage for Furman. Under a minute left to go. The strip, and Hunter on the move. The spin, the layup, that's no good. Tip back outside with 41 left to go. Tracy biding his time. 10-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, with Furman up by 2. Kobe Langley splits the defense. Down low, the block applied on the shot attempt by Leite. Down to 10 seconds, and Slauson gets hit with 10.3 left, and the possession will stay with Furman. On the
Tracy bailed Furman out in that possession. I'm not sure anyone that handled the basketball for Furman knew that they wanted one shot at that point. You had nothing in transition. You don't want to go take a quick shot, pull it back out, get the last shot of the half, go into the halftime locker room with the lead. The foul by Tracy bailed them out on that possession.
So Bothwell and Hunter have combined for 23 points. Slauson with 4. And a couple of assists. Down to 7. Now down to 5. And another foul here. So the last foul was picked up by Tracy. We'll see who this one is applied to with 5.8 seconds left. And it'll be against J.C. Tharrington. That's his first.
And Mike Jones actually substituting Tharrington into the game to take that foul to try to give Furman less time to get a quality look here to end the half.
Down to 4. The drive, the layup off the glass, no good, and that'll cap the first half. Furman starts out with a 7-0 lead, but Corey, the Spartans fight back. We'll have more in a moment from Greensboro. We'll throw things to the studios, have first half analysis, and much, much more. Furman up by 2.
But for UNCG, they want to be able to attack that area. They want to play a slower paced game, and that often includes winning the battle of the points in the paint.
That rebounding edge, by the way, one of the keys here for UNC Greensboro moving forward. You get a look at the big 3 for the Paladins this evening. And Corey, again, Hunter, Bothwell have done it. Slauson has been a little bit more of a facilitator as usual.
Yeah, only one other member for Furman has scored in this game outside of the big 3. And Slauson didn't have a big first half. And you look for him to be more aggressive offensively here in the second stanza as well.
Missed shot there by DeMonte Buckingham. We have not mentioned him a lot offensively tonight. 1 of 5 from the field. Just 2 points. Slauson with the kick to an open shooter. The three, that's no good. A little bit off out of the hands of Hunter. The flip down the floor for Tracy. Tracy is rejected at the rim, but that's going to be goaltending.
But you mentioned Buckingham and having a struggle scoring thus far, but you see him getting on the glass. Not only a beautiful rebound, but a great outlet pass to lead Tracy, who leaked out behind the defense and gets the bucket off the goaltend just like that to tie the game at 30.
First tie game of the night. It's been a little back and forth, but the first tie. Hunter straight on three. Short. Buckingham board. Kobe Langley. Trying to find some space. The right-handed layup got partially blocked. And the rebound maintained here by the Spartans. Outside, Tracy pass. That three is good from Buckingham.
And that's one of those plays where you have to make the shot, simply because it's great ball movement between 3 to 4 players touching it. Langley getting in the painted area. Beatty coming up with a nice offensive rebound and find, and then Buckingham and Tracy sharing the basketball. But Furman with the quick response on the other end as Foster knocks down his second three of the game.
He's got 6 points and 4 rebounds tonight. 3-point lead. We'll check that tie game at 33 between Furman and UNC Greensboro. Kobe Langley. Gets into the lane. The floater, tough shot. The rebound taken by the Paladins.
Now, Derek, we've worked together way too long. You know I'm not going to allow you to be lazy and call that a floater. That was not a floater.
Tracy, layup attempt. Good defense there. Now you've got me flustered. But
good. For calling it a floater, you should be. And you know I hate floaters, and my guy Kobe's not going to do that to me tonight.
Battle down low, and it'll stay on the side of Furman. Well, how about the defense, though, here on the side of Furman to at least force some difficult shots?
Well, and it's been, honestly, it's been good defense from both these teams throughout the first, 23 minutes of this game, and both getting after it. And you got to give a lot of credit to UNCG, because you can only imagine they're not in the right conditioning. But Furman is playing as though they're happy to have their head coach back on the sideline. And you're seeing why this team is so dangerous, especially if they're able to defend this way. We got a little extracurricular activity going on underneath the basket.
Yeah, they are upset about something. The officials, obviously some jaw-jacking between a couple of the players on the floor. Uh-oh. And he gets a whistle. So that's the first on Hean. Corey, what are you seeing down there?
Well, you see Abdul Salam and Hean really just jockeying for position. We saw both of them just smack each other's arm off on an earlier possession. Well, I'm sorry, was that Jones involved in the mix? I can't remember.
I believe it was Jones.
You see these two guys, and they're still going to go at it, but that was a control call by the officials, a great call to make sure you calm down both players. Keep the action within the lines, get rid of all the extracurricular, and let's just play basketball. The double foul is the right call in that possession. No advantage to either player, but a great defensive stand by UNCG to get the basketball back and an opportunity to go down and take a lead.
Both of these teams have flexed their defensive muscle at times in this game. 6 turnovers apiece now, with the game tied at 33.
Ready, G. Ready, G.
Kobe Langley looking for assistance.
Suck in.
Miles Jones popping out.
There we go. Out.
Langley on the attack. Tried to throw it into the post, and it gets intercepted.
But I can tell you, Mike Jones didn't get what he wanted on that possession early, the call that he was looking for, and he pretty much just turned his head, didn't watch that offensive possession because he knew it wasn't going to go in his team's favor.
The kick out, a White three, that's no good. Loose ball, the battle, and it will stay with UNC Greensboro.
And Mike Jones right now imploring his team to pay attention to what it is he's calling from the sideline and execute on the offensive end of the floor, especially when you consider coming off of the COVID pause. You don't have your rhythm together necessarily offensively. You're not making shots. Right now, execution is even more important for the Spartans right now, and locking in as to what the coaches are asking them to do on the offensive end of the floor.
Tracy, acrobatic layup, misses, and the run out here for the Paladins. The crossover, the layup attempt from Bothwell, a little bit too much English on that basketball, rims out. Buckingham survey. Just 8 points total between these two teams in half two so far. Jones battling down low. Langley three, that's good. Kobe Langley hits again from deep.
And that's the Kobe Langley I remember, the guy that was a big-time scorer in high school. Keyshawn has been a bigger scorer at UNCG, but when you go back to these guys' high school days, Kobe Langley was the scorer when they were playing alongside Wendell Moore Jr. and that stacked CP3 squad.
The run out and the near dunk there by White. He got rejected at the rim, or maybe fouled. Either way, a three, no good. And the offensive rebound back to Furman. The three this time straight on is in to tie the game up at 36. And it's once again Foster able to hit from deep.
And two for $1 opportunity. They got two good looks from three to Furman on that possession. And Foster now knocks down his third three of the game. He's provided offense here recently.
Cut right down the lane by DeMonte Buckingham. Gives the lead right back to the Spartans.
Nice play by Buckingham, recognizing the jumper hasn't necessarily been falling, although he did knock down a three earlier in the half, but staying aggressive, attacking the basket. Still didn't dunk the basketball, but on that possession, I'll let it go because he did get his team the lead, and the two on the layup count the same as the two from a dunk. I'm sticking with the A.
I love these socks, by the way. These are pretty cool socks. Should be a great game Monday night. UNC Greensboro up by 2, 38-36. As the floater is good from Mike Bothwell. The first points in this half by someone other than Marcus Foster for Furman.
And neither of these teams allowing separation from the other end. Two evenly matched teams playing in this game. The COVID break giving an advantage to Furman. However, Furman is playing on the road, so you give UNCG the advantage for being able to play on their home court, making a very evenly matched contest here thus far tonight.
Lead at 2 once again for UNC Greensboro. Slauson with the kick. He and three misses. Furman unable to get to that rebound, and it's a run out here and a 2-point lead for UNC Greensboro. Kobe Langley for three. That's no good.
And Kobe Langley coming down gimpy on that possession, struggling to get back down the floor defensively. Not sure what happened on that, but after that shot landed awkwardly, grabbing at that left leg, something we have to keep an eye on moving forward. If I'm Furman, that's something I want to go at him and attack him.
And a foul coming up here as we see Langley having trouble there walking.
And you see Langley going up for three, coming down awkwardly after the shot, and laboring to get back down the floor as he'll check out and get some attention.
And that is a key loss for the Spartans. He is the only player in this game for UNC Greensboro in double figures. He has 10.
Good. You're on the ball. Good. Good.
Well, the luxury for Mike Jones is he's got a guy that looks just like him on the floor. And can give him very similar production, as Buckingham is forced to throw up a three at the end of the shot clock. Another empty offensive possession for the Spartans, who have relied on their defense thus far in this game to earn them the 2-point lead.
Bothwell trying to operate in the paint. The kick out to Hunter. Shot clock to 10. Far side pass, the three is good. So great passing there by Furman, and once again it's Marcus Foster, his 4th three-pointer of the game.
And Foster trying to make it a big 4 for Furman. When you consider his production, 12 points for Foster on the evening thus far, getting involved in the scoring column and joining the big 3 as double-figure scores for this Furman squad.
Ball knocked out of bounds.
And Derek, you mentioned not just the knockdown 3, but the beautiful find to give Foster his 4th 3 on the evening.
For you with Caleb Love, Armando Bacot, and North Carolina hosting Jaden Gardner, Kihei Clark, Virginia, at the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill. Our Saturday showcase coverage starts at 1 Eastern on ESPN. One app, one tap.
There you go. Way to balance it out, Derek. Now you've got 2 Cavaliers, you got 2 Tar Heels, of course. One of those Tar Heels, Armando Bacot, one of my hoop sons, along with DeMonte Buckingham and A.J. Williams, 2 of the members of the UNCG Spartans. Buckingham off to a slow start offensively, but does have 6 rebounds already in this game. A.J. Williams, also a freshman on the roster at UNCG. So spent a lot of time talking with Mike Jones about his recruiting and, of course, a lot of his personnel, because those are my guys.
And you know this area so well, and it was really great talking to Coach Jones, and I really enjoyed learning about the relationships he has with a lot of these players because of the road that his career has taken.
Yeah, well, and Mike Jones was a big-time player. Mike Jones was the guy that was playing, you know, in the 30 and over leagues. He loves basketball. He would still be playing if he wasn't coaching. So he's a guy that just loves basketball, loves to hoop. Of course, had a very good career at Howard, and then went right into coaching after his career was over, because he's a guy that loves this game. You look at his career at Radford as a head coach, 5 20-win seasons, 2 Big South regular season titles, and, of course, you know, at the great shot by Carleague Jones in the 2018 Big South tournament to send them to the NCAA tournament. And Mike Jones is a lifer. He's just a basketball mind. He lives it, he breathes it, he drinks it, he sleeps it. He is about basketball, and one of the better people that you will ever meet. And excited for him and his opportunity at UNC Greensboro. Of course, with my girl, athletic director Kim Record, of course, bringing, you know, Mike on board. So a lot of family connections for me at UNCG.
As you see Coach Jones talking things over, his team trailing by 1. It's been a very interesting second half. Both teams a little slow to get out of the gates offensively. Furman shooting 39% for the game. The Spartans shooting at a 40% clip. It's Foster at the line. Sinks that one. And the lead balloons to 2 for Furman. Tracy. Leahy looking for help. Langley lob. That one goes off the hands of Abdul Salam. A turnover, and the basketball back over to Hunter and company.
But that, you chalk that up to timing, and a beautiful idea, the great find, and just the timing right there for Abdul Salam, is unable to gather the basketball, which should have been an easy layup. But you see Keyshawn Langley getting out in the passing lane, unable to finish. Great play by Slauson.
Slauson with the block there, and Corey, we've seen those run-out situations, and a good block here.
Well, and give Slauson credit for continuing to play, but he takes off, my God, Key's shoe coming down. And Keyshawn looking like that has to be a foul. I'm coming out of this scrum with no shoe on. By the way, the Kobe's fire. Keyshawn Langley rocking tonight.
No doubt. And by the way, we mentioned blocks.
Hey, whip it.
Slauson, no stranger to that category. He's a team leader for Furman in blocks with 27 coming into this game.
By the way, those Kobe's are ones that you save for the national TV game. You don't just wear those every game. It's like, yeah, I'm going to wear these on January 5th. We on national TV. I'm going to make sure I bring these out.
What a turnaround move by Leite. Beautifully done to tie the game up at 42.
And Leite now getting the job done on the interior. Only his 4th point, but 6 rebounds for him, as he's been a steadying presence on the interior thus far for UNCG.
Rolling to the rim, losing control of the basketball was Hean. He could not power that one home. Keyshawn Langley, wheeling and dealing in the kicks. Lobs it for Leite, and then he throws it away.
And Mike Jones beside himself right now. Another turnover on the offensive end of the floor. And although he is disturbed by this, this is expected when you consider how long UNCG has been off the basketball court. We mentioned earlier 3 days with 3 practices where they have had 10 players available to be able to play 5-on-5 leading up to this game. But UC have not played a game since December the 16th. Had to cancel or postpone 3 games along the way around Christmas time.
Some of those games have been rescheduled as a 3 missed. The kick out, Hunter. Room for 3. That connects and 1. Alex Hunter, 4-point play possibly on the way.
And a great job by Alex Hunter gathering himself, really creating some rhythm for himself with the dribble, and then raising up, knocking down the 3. Kobe Langley with the foul, and allowing Hunter to get to the free throw line, an opportunity for the 4-point play.
That foul picked up by Langley. That's his 2nd.
And now 15 on the evening for Hunter, as he got the offense started for Furman tonight, and is their leading scorer with 16 points, as Mike Jones has come out of the outerwear, now going to the short sleeve polo. As this game starts to get interesting, Coach Jones starting to get a little more comfortable on the sideline.
Kobe Langley stripped. Hunter with the steal. Slauson may have traveled there, but no call.
I like how you say may have.
Trying to give him that parachute out. Bothwell. A launch for 3. That's a little bit off. And the rebound taken by Abdul Salam, and he gets fouled as Hean, going back down the floor, stuck his hand in.
And Hean upset with himself right now, but great job by his teammates just gathering him. And Hean has been playing very emotional basketball tonight. We saw the double foul earlier in the second half. Hean with a great roll to the basket, unable to finish on the dunk. But he has given Furman very good energy And right now, just a possession where, hey, calm down a little bit. No need to foul 90 feet away from the basket. But a great job by his veteran teammates gathering him and just getting him back on track.
8 minutes left. 4-point lead for Furman. Jones with the kick out. Buckingham three, that's good.
Mike Jones told us at times where they need big plays and they need leadership has been DeMonte Buckingham all season long providing them, and no shot bigger than that one. As Furman is trying to provide some separation in this game, Buckingham makes it a 1-point game once again.
Now it's a 4-point game after the Bothwell three. So Bothwell can fill it up. He had 30 in the win over Louisville earlier this season. He is a scoring machine at times.
And he has definitely been that. But Bothwell also had 0 against Mississippi State. And so you're talking about a hit-or-miss guy. As Bob Ritchie told us earlier, it's still make or miss in basketball. And tonight, he's got some guys making shots.
Has been certainly very active this season in terms of challenging competition, but perhaps no greater moment for them this year than their win over Louisville, Corey.
Well, and that was a great way to get the season started off for Coach Ritchie and Furman, going to Louisville, picking up a win over a Power 5 school. And Coach Ritchie talked to us today about really how good the Southern Conference is, but he has been just as good when you consider the active winning percentage of Division I coaches. And this is, you know, active coaches all time right now. You're looking at Hall of Famers on this list. You start the list with Mark Few, Bill Self, Mike Krzyzewski, Tony Bennett on the list, Bruce Pearl, Tom Izzo. You're talking Hall of Famers as well as John Calipari. And Bob Ritchie right involved in that. A great young coach at Furman looking for an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. He feels as though this league is better than a one-bid league, but knows just how valuable those 3 to 4 days in March are for his conference.
Shot clock to 2. Tracy will have to launch. He can't connect. Offensive rebound grab by White. Stick back, no good. Loose, still saved inadvertently off of UNC Greensboro. And now it will go over to Furman.
Actually, the basketball is going to stay with UNCG because on the ricochet out of bounds, it hits Foster before it's out of play. Great hustle play by Foster. Goes off of White, but it hits Foster's knee out of bounds before the basketball touches the ground. So UNCG will maintain possession. 19 seconds on the shot clock for the Spartans.
Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That is a fortuitous bounce for UNC Greensboro.
Screen the screener!
Leite gets stripped on the way up by Hand.
And that's a great play by Hand, who got in the air, went for the pump fake, but still had the presence of mind to get his hand on the basketball and come up with a steal on that possession.
Slauson, the kick to Foster. Shot clock to 7 for Hand. Kick out, Slauson open for 3. Rims out, and Abdul Salam rebound.
And Slauson hasn't really been able to get going offensively. 2 for 10 for him from the field right now. I'm sorry, 2 for 11, and now 0 for 6 from beyond the three-point arc. We talked about could all 3 of the big 3 get going in this game. They've had the backcourt component together, but Slauson has not been able to join much in the scoring mix.
Just under 6 minutes left to go. Furman leading by 4, 49-45. To button up that point about the Louisville win, that has been a part of a big season here for SoCon teams. As we get a steal. Down the floor, Buckingham throws it down.
Now that's my boy. That's the way you conduct yourself on a fast break, Buck. That's what I've been waiting for, and that is the play that gives this team energy on your home floor. See, Derek, you thought he couldn't do it.
I was hesitating a little bit. The 3, that's good. The counter by Slauson.
Big bucket by Slauson as he lifts his head to the heavens and says thank you for knocking down the three. Now 1 for 7 from beyond the three-point arc for Slauson. But a big one there to increase the lead back to 5.
3-on-3 after the steal. Filling back down the floor. Hand gets bumped by Abdul Salam, and that will lead to a whistle.
A great response by Furman to what was a highlight level play by DeMonte Buckingham with the big finish over top of Slauson on the break. And of course, I've been on Buck about not dunking on 2 possessions. He must have got word. Mom might have texted him at halftime and said, Corey's talking about you. You better dunk it the next time you get a break.
And he did so emphatically. Foul, by the way, picked up by Abdul Salam. And a turnover, errant pass. Keyshawn Langley trying to pick his way through this defense. He'll try a 3. That just misses off the mark. A tie-up. Buckingham rips it away and keeps a possession alive. No jump ball call.
Mike Jones talked about Buckingham's grit, how hard he plays, and no greater example than that possession that turns into more second chance points for the Spartans.
Abdul Salam having himself a night offensively. The 3 to answer. Long miss. Abdul Salam with a rebound. And Kobe Langley gets knocked to the floor. No whistle there. By the way, Abdul Salam has 11 points. 3 players now in double figures for the Spartans. Buckingham, Abdul Salam, and Kobe Langley. And a foul against Jalen Slauson. Reaching in.
Off of an offensive rebound, Abdul Salam with the finish at the basket. Acrobatic to make it a 1-possession game. Of course, my Cowboys represented on there. Are you an Eagles fan?
Yes, I am. I'm not looking forward to potentially a matchup with Tampa. That seems to be the way things are trending for the Eagles in round 1, but they're having themselves a good season. Certainly.
Wait,
much
you
better
guys are in the playoff mix?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on.
Well, hopefully we beat you guys in the last regular season game and knock you out of the playoffs.
Oh, no, they're Corey, they are in. It might be Cowboys-Eagles round 1, potentially, maybe. 52-49. Furman up by 3. Just under 3 minutes left to go. Can Furman hold on here down the stretch? Bothwell hopping in, throws it up, no good. Tip grab, a late T rebound.
And another strong stop by UNCG. Now at this point, Mike Jones has drawn up exactly what he wants from his team to execute on this possession. You don't necessarily need 3 to try to tie the game, but you need a quality look. Turnovers have hurt the Spartans in the second half. You want to get a good one, and you get a turnover as Mike Jones is irate on the sideline. Just cannot believe after all of that, you turn the basketball over once again.
Furman offensively has done most of their damage from the three-point line here at half 2. At the elbow with 8 to shoot. Now down to 5. Hunter will have to make a move here. Crossover 3. Almost got it to go. The battle for the loose ball taken by Bothwell. He puts it in.
And Bothwell giving UNCG a bit of its own medicine there. The offensive rebound and second chance points as Mike Jones wants to talk it over with his group. Now trailing by 5 with 1:33 remaining here in the second half.
Hondo Baycott and North Carolina hosting Jaden Gardner, Kie Clark, and Virginia at the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill. Our Saturday showcase coverage starts at 1 Eastern on the app. One app, one tap.
And Derek, you would know that UNC Greensboro shares its home with the ACC. Greensboro Coliseum, of course, one of the most visited home of the ACC tournament, and also the ACC Hall of Fame attached to the Greensboro Coliseum. Have you been there?
I have never been to the Greensboro Coliseum.
You should check it out at some point. Great place to play basketball.
One of the historic buildings for sure in college basketball history. So many great players have been through there. Tracy near side. Buckingham with 4 to shoot. Tracy. Hits jumper, no good. Lose. Abdul Salam battling, has it. Tracy, high arcing 3, that's good.
The best time to take a three-pointer is always after an offensive rebound, simply because all of the defenders are in the painted area battling for the basketball. And you see all the blue jerseys in the painted area, or if that's black, I'm colorblind, who knows which one it is. But regardless, Abdul Salam throwing out the basketball to Tracy, who's able to knock down the 3 and make it a one-possession game once again.
Corey, we haven't seen much from either bench here tonight. Mostly it's been on the starters coming here down the stretch in particular, trying to make a big play to put this game over the top for either side.
Yeah, and it's been about the starters, especially for Furman, who has gotten all of their production from their starters. But Derek, you didn't tell me, is it blue or is it black? What color is
that is
Furman
black.
Wearing? That is black?
Yeah, that's black,
okay.
Gray, and purple.
Gotcha. All right. Sorry to the Furman fans who I've said blue, because that's not one of your team colors. Blame it on my eyes, not my heart.
You mean well, for sure. 99 out of the 105 points in this game have come from the starters, as Corey alluded to. No points off the bench for Furman. 43 seconds left to go. Slauson survey. Shot clock to 7. Slauson turning. Shot is in. Tough J.
Well, we talked about Slauson, and he has struggled offensively, but he comes up with a big bucket for Furman on that possession when they need it most.
Right into the rack. It's Buckingham to cut it back down to a 2-point game. 20 seconds left to go.
But down 1, you have to foul at this point. You're wasting time right now. You don't get the turnover. If you're UNC Greensboro, you've got to foul to save as much time as you can in that game. UNCG gave away about 8 seconds of valuable time.
And it'll be Alex Hunter who will go to the free throw.
I don't believe that.
Actually, no, not
Furman's
the free throw
in
line.
the bonus yet.
One off. So we'll have a timeout here called on the floor with 12.6 left to go. And Corey, you hit the nail on the head right there. So much time went off the clock here before the foul.
Yeah, 23.8 seconds. This is where you go after the trap. If you don't get a steal, you have to foul. UNCG allows the basketball to move way too long. You're talking about 11 seconds of valuable game time lost where you need to extend this game. You're down 2 points, and you don't have enough time. There's not 30 seconds or more on the clock to allow the shot clock to run out. And that is something that a veteran group of UNCG has to know. You've got guys who have played a lot of basketball. You've got to know that going in. You've got to know that coming out of the timeout, that once we score, we're going to have to foul.
And you take a look at the foul situation and the timeout situation. 1 foul to give left still for UNC Greensboro. So the next time they foul Furman, that will send them to the line. So kind of underscoring your point even further, you have to foul twice here. Well, now just once, but all that time, very precious in this situation.
And Mike Jones disappointed his team for not knowing that. And again, when they came out of the last timeout, they were down 2. Slauson hits the big 2 to make it a 4-point game. That is players having to recognize and having the basketball IQ to know where the time and score is and what you have to do in that possession.
Bothwell gets fouled with 11.6 left. So Bothwell, an 80% shooter on the season from the free throw line. He'll get a 1-and-1 opportunity.
This is a game that if UNCG is unable to come away with the win, Mike Jones is going to have a lot of basketball learning and basketball education to give to his team after this, especially when you think about the crucial turnovers that they had at crunch time in this one. And again, these are not coaching errors. These are player errors. And I know all coaches will say coaches lose games, players win games. But you have to put so much responsibility, or some of the responsibility, on your players to make plays, especially at crunch time, that UNCG missed out on a number of those opportunities. I go back to the possession where UNCG was down 52-49, and they turned the basketball over after getting a defensive stop and allowed Furman to continue to have some type of separation in this game.
A big moment without a doubt, and now as we take a look at things moving forward, 11.6 left to go, timeout on each side. That last foul, by the way, was charged to DeMonte Buckingham, so that puts Furman in a 1-and-1 situation at the moment, and we'll see how quickly UNC Greensboro tries to operate here. Corey, because of that lost time there, 11.6 left, they've got to move very quickly offensively.
Well, you've got to move quickly, and you really have to take a 3 at this point, because you're going to have to foul once again. And assuming that Furman comes down and makes 2 free throws, you want to still be in a situation where you can tie the basketball game.
Long turnaround 3 by Langley, out of bounds. Last touch by the Spartans with 3.8 left. And they may take a look at it, but if it does end up staying with Furman, that might be just about it.
We get an opportunity to look at it. The basketball doesn't hit the rim. Buckingham involved in the mix. And Tracy comes in as well, and that's going to go back to Furman.
Certainly not enough evidence there to suggest that the call will be overturned, you'd have to think. And now with 3.8 seconds left, there's just not a ton of time left for them to be able to pull this off in an expedient fashion.
Well, you have to understand that it's already now a 2-possession game. And those 11 seconds that you lost between 23.8 and 12.6 is a difference now when you think about it, as the officials look at the clock. There could be an additional 11 seconds on the clock, and being able to operate with 14 to 15 seconds in comparison to 3.8 is a completely different world in the college basketball game. And that's something, just as players, you've got to be able to recognize and understand. It's time and score. You hear coaches preach it constantly in practice, in meetings. Recognize time and score, know time and score, and know that when Buckingham makes that layup, and it's a 2-point game at 56-54, you have to foul immediately. You don't have an opportunity to play it out defensively and try to get a defensive stop. You've got to try to extend the game.
Crucial moment that certainly Coach Jones will be thinking about coming out of this one. They put 0.2 of a second back on the clock, 4 even left. Launch back down the floor for Slauson. He has it knocked away from him. It'll stay with Furman with just 1 second left to go, and that will just about do it here for the Spartans.
And that's the right play by Coach Ritchie. Throw it to the other end of the floor. Even if UNCG does come up with the steal, it makes it difficult to score. And, of course, outside of getting fouled and knocking down the three, there is no 4-point play yet in basketball.
That will do it. Furman wins it 58-54. UNC Greensboro drops their first SoCon game of the season. And Corey, a tough last minute there for the Spartans.
It was. And congratulations to Coach Ritchie getting a win on Jax's birthday. And also for Mike Jones, he and his group going to have to go back and regroup and understand how they have to go about finishing basketball games. But, of course, getting back on the court for Coach Jones, I'm sure, was just a positive enough tonight after having a 3-week layoff between games.
Coach Ritchie and the Paladins grab the win tonight by 4, in part behind 20 points from Mike Bothwell. For Corey Alexander and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Derek Jones. Thanks for watching. Our final score from the Greensboro Coliseum, 58-54 Furman. Have a good night, everybody.